Welcome back to the Scorpio Channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see if they play as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting who you're attracting, how you're contributing to the undesirable experiences that are unfolding, and what you could possibly do to shape shift the energy. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out, and it's the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. Hey, everybody, sorry that I wasn't on again yesterday. I am still fighting this cold, getting better every day, but a month, a month, a month of antibiotics, a month of all this medication. That's what happens when you burn the candle at both ends and you're a highly sensitive person, you know? Just throw in a traumatic experience, again, the death of my husband and not being able to sleep, the insomnia, and I at least was eating. Could you imagine if I wasn't eating? I did lose weight though. Went like on a chicken noodle soup diet for like literally a month because I didn't want to eat anything. Because when your sinuses are acting up, you can't taste. So anyway, went to the doctor yesterday, still a little bit wheezy, but she said this is the end stage. So I'm like, feel like it's never ending. Maybe that has to do with something that's happening in this reading. Again, something that's never ending, something that just doesn't want to stop. Let's see if it does. I always see that everything tends to mean something, right? So again, let's see what the word of the video is. Perfectionism, perfectionism. No, I feel like I pulled that one from my other channel, so I need to put it. I don't. All right, I'll pull that one because I pulled it, but I'm gonna pull a different card from a different deck because I'm like, why is always the same card coming out? Why? Oneness. Ah. I feel like you're in contact with someone that knows that you're their soulmate. Again, you feel like oneness. Oneness is that. The oneness of consciousness is of unconditional love. It's the only language that everyone really understand and agrees to. It's the energy of the universe. It's the energy that when we are at our perfect state, we are in oneness. That means we are connected to our higher self, and the higher self is the God part of self that allows us to feel that oneness because it allows us to feel grounded within ourselves, where we love ourselves and we know ourselves, but also be able to connect to others. And perfectionism is, again, usually when I pull this card, it always means inadequate. But in this situation, because of the word oneness, it means like someone sees you as their perfect person. Someone sees you as their perfect person because you make you honest with them. I feel like you were honest with them. Yes, there's attraction, but that's happens for this person. I feel like they fall in love with being in love. They like the energy of being loved, and I feel like it's because they didn't get enough love growing up. And highly sensitive people that did not get enough love growing up tend to really feel like they need it. They tend to be emotionally needy. Now, this person's not emotionally intelligent, where they come across as a highly sensitive person. They come across as someone, they try to come across as someone that's not sensitive, but they actually are sensitive. So that's the issue. And I feel like that this person is sensitive. You also know that they hide it. So again, this is their perception of you. Now let's see what you were dealing with when you were dealing with them. Because I look down and I see honor. And to me, it's like, I feel like this person promises now to honor, but you were not dealing with that energy before. I feel like you were dealing with much different energy. And that energy was, again, deceiving someone, again, that that tries to strategize, again, doesn't want to seem emotionally vulnerable, doesn't want to, has a hard time with commitment because they never see relationships play out the way that they hope to. Like in the beginning, it's all about love, it's lust, and it's excitement, and it's passion. And then very quickly, does it turn to like nothing, almost like they don't have a desire. They don't have a desire to be with their person. And I feel like it goes from one extreme to another. So this person like likes the fact that you hold back. They like the fact that you don't just give in to them. And so, they tend to like to strategize, but this almost feels like more of a game. Now, the issue is that normally they don't form emotional connections because they run around with a lot of people. Because you, again, held back and you were like, again, a little bit of a cat and mouse game where you weren't deliberately playing that game. You were just like, no, like boundary, my boundary. My boundary. Like every time that this person tried to overstep your boundary, you were like, no. So they were always trying to deceive. They were always trying to get over. They were always trying to strategize because they were trying not to form an emotional connection. The irony is they formed an emotional connection. The more that they tried not to think about you, the more that they thought about you. So they weren't really trying to form feelings for you. It was something that just kind of like happened. Because again, when you met this person, they were also self-righteous. They kind of tried to act like they were better than who they were. They were someone that likes to like elevate who they are. When they look in the mirror, they want to perceive who they are instead of what they know to be who they are. And when I say no, that's of the higher self. The higher self is God part of self, which is of spiritual wisdom. It's oh, look at this. It's of knowledge, it's of wisdom, right? It's like, I don't know how I knew that, I just knew. So it's again, there's a higher self. Now, this person was disconnected from the higher self because they were disconnected from the heart. So again, when we're in our true self, we're grounded, we're grounded, but we're also tapped into the higher self. And we're able to feel our intuition and we're acting on our intuition. This person's not emotionally intelligent, so they don't tap into any intuition. However, there's a knowledge, even though they're not tapped into the intuition, that they're like, I know who you are. And I know who you are from a logical standpoint, which that is the irony. It's because you're like, I'm not someone that's like a logical person. I'm more of an intuitive person, a highly sensitive person, an emotional person, someone that like connects that way is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that you're not logical when it comes to certain things, but when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, it's like more intuitive, where this person is afraid to be that way. So they were continuously looking for things like maybe that you were a fraud, maybe that your job was bad, maybe that you've been in 1,000 different relationships, maybe that you would live in a double life. Something. They look for something that proved that you were not perfect to them, to like almost logic them out of liking you. I know that sounds crazy. It's a lot of energy that this person put into like trying not to like you. I just want you to know that. But the irony was that they liked you. And that's the thing. They could feel that they liked you, but they were like, no, I'm not going to feel that. And it's like, I'm going to like logic this. And you're like someone that's like, I don't understand what that is. Like, it's weird because I can feel that there's a connection. So I don't know what this person does. It just seems weird to me. And understand that's how the person feels. They feel inadequate. Again, they're angry. Again, dealing with them, they came across as angry, like an angry person too. And this is when a person creates the persona. They're not really angry. They just don't have an identity. So it's almost like the Fonz, how the Fonz always acts mad, acts cool, right? Like too cool and not emotional, but the Fonz is emotional, kind of like that. If you've ever watched Happy Days, because I'm seeing Fonzie in my head, and that's somebody that has this persona that it's so in your face that you're like, how can I not see it? It's right there. It's everything about that is like a second chakra imbalance, like what you're doing. It's like it's so over. And that's what a second chakra imbalance is. Second chakra is all about our unique individuality, who we perceive that we are. This person doesn't know who they are. That's what that says. So they've created this persona to make you perceive that they're this person, but they're not this person. That's why you could feel, you're like, what I'm feeling is not really I like what this person is showing me is not what I'm feeling. I don't care what they're showing me. I still can feel whatever it is. And so understand that person's like, well, I'm gonna own this shit because it's like now it's become my identity. Because if I take away who that is, then who am I? I'm no one. So this person feels really like inadequate when it comes to relationships as well, because they don't know who they are. So everything is based on who they are, if that makes sense. So meaning their habits and their behaviorisms are built on the fact that they don't know who they are and they've created this persona and they continually try to come from this persona, which is they did it too much. They overplayed their hand in this and trying to make you feel like they don't like you by coming across angry, but understand they are angry because they don't know who they are. If that makes sense at all. I know that that sounds crazy. So to break it down, it's like they are angry because they don't know who they are and they don't get results when we don't know who we are and we're not coming from the higher self, the God part of self, we're coming from our ego, we don't get good results. Then the persona is that nobody likes us. So this person tried to create an alter ego. They had feelings for you, but they were like, no, I'm not going to feel because relationships don't work out for me. So you felt like they were angry all the time. So again, they created this weird persona, and you're like, okay, like, how did it, like, why? Well, see your triggers first, because a lot of why, again, is going to be done is again, because this person feels inadequate. They feel like, again, there's something wrong with them. They have feelings for you. They didn't want to have feelings. We don't know why. It could be they were taught not to have feelings. They were taught to, that feelings were bad. I feel like that somebody taught this person that don't be weak, don't give in to like your desires, don't have feelings, like could be big boys don't cry, big boys don't show feelings. Like again, I just see the songs, like I said, this weird persona that's almost like over the top, that you're like, again, I can tell like what you're showing me is not you, but you're doing all this weird stuff. Again, so you wind up getting resentful because you're like, in this game that you're playing, you're not really letting me in. So I don't really understand why you're doing it. It's like I have and what happens is it winds up like, because of that, when the person actually is nice, you're like, well, it manifests as conflict because like I don't know who I'm dealing with. It's like, and then what happens is it affects the intimacy, and intimacy at its basic level is trust, because this person isn't letting you in. Instead, they're created this weird persona of trying not to like you, but it's because they liked you. So it kind of like, not until you emotionally really cut off and you're like, it's starting to affect the way that I see you sexually. It's starting to get to see, and because you're like, it's starting to gross me out because it's like I thought you were this person at first, and you're not this person. You're somebody completely different, and it was all because you wouldn't apologize. You held back from me because you didn't want to seem weak. You didn't want to be vulnerable. You didn't want to be transparent. You didn't want to let me in. So you created this persona where you didn't apologize to me. And instead you played a weight game because I didn't come and talk to you. I stayed back from you is what I feel. Again, you avoided me. like I felt you were ashamed of me or something, and that you were avoiding me. You were trying to again elevate yourself, make yourself feel like too cool for me. Like again, it was a weird persona, coming off angry, wanting to like get over on me. You wanted what you wanted from me, but you didn't want to give me anything. And so avoidance just to, again, because you didn't want to apologize to me. Thought that you were going to use time and space to manipulate me. And it's like, and that triggered my abandonment issues. So once that, the wavering in and out of my life, has created a lot of abandonment, and that just continued to happen throughout the connection. The moment that you would get comfortable, the moment this person would leave. They never emotionally would let you get connected to them. And so you called their bluff because you were like, what, do you think I was going to go on like that forever? Did you think that that was going to happen? And this person actually did. They thought that they were going to keep you on the hook. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this person just continued to do it again and again. And I feel like what you did was you put your energy into yourself. So again, for this person, we see do it again and again. And then for you, I feel like you tended to go right into your creative energy. Yeah, visionary. This person was a catalyst for your being able to manifest, because I feel like they're game playing and they're and holding back from you just because they didn't want to give you an apology, that you don't see them the same way anymore. You're like, after a while, now, like I said, the second chakra is all about a person's individuality. This person doesn't know who they are. They feel inadequate. And so they created all these games, which made you look at them different and be like, you know what, it started to affect the way that I see you, where when you first met this person, you were crazy about this person. You loved this person. Like you really thought that you were going to be with this person, and that's what this person felt. And that triggered their intimacy issues. It made them feel they didn't want to feel. So they reacted. And for you, you were like, you saw that as like complete rejection. And that trauma of abandonment, it made you push you into again your being able to manifest. I said invent, but then I was like, look at this. It was like the card right after it was visionary catalyst. Like that this person, that like their trauma, like the trauma that this person caused you psychically because they abandoned you, was like your inner child wound. Because you were like, I really loved you. I really thought that you and I were going to be together. I really thought that. And this person did too, to the point that they got too cocky and they didn't give you anything. They held back, where they just kept you on the hook. And that pushed you. That was the catalyst. And the catalyst, psychic trauma, right? That's when, again, we pull in our inner child wounds. And remember, the child that survives thrives. And so it's like you're like went into your imagination, because that's what visionary does. And it's like an energetic um like shift. And it's where, it's activated by your strong will, and then people begin to see your confidence. They see you differently. They see you as courageous. So again, that's why this person sees you as perfect and oneness, because they're seeing you, but they didn't treat you that way. And also, I feel like you're not feeling them that the same way. Yeah, you want to go on adventure. You're like gonna manifest like a lot of wealth. Um, prosperity, live an extravagant life. That's what this person sees. They see what you manifested because of them, really, but it's the trauma that they gave. See, a lot of times, you know, it's what activates our psychic our psychic ability. It's what activates the creative genius inside, the God inside that connects us to our psychic ability that allows us oneness to be able to create with the universe, right? That's the give and receive of love through your free will. And it's to again go on adventures and to become yourself, to manifest with yourself, to be a little bit self-indulgent. It's not about this person. Yeah, like it's again, it's about refining yourself. It's about connecting with spirit. Okay? That's what that's about. It's a cleansing and it's about ending for this person. It's like, yeah, the loss, the grief. They're like, that's what you went through. That's what pushed you into this trauma. Okay. Like it's again, like it was almost like the depth of how you saw this person. Like you were the love of my life. I thought that you were going to be that person. But that person is someone that shows up for me, someone that's here for me. You played a lot of games because you hid behind a persona, because you didn't want me to see really who you are. And it's because this person believes that everyone's abandons them. But what they did was they abandoned themselves because they didn't allow themselves love, because they didn't believe that they were deserving of love. Now you may say, I don't really give a shit, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see like what their inner child wounds were and what your inner child wounds were. Again, it'll give you some insight of, again, the things that you need to heal and to help you understand this person a little bit better, especially if you're like, why am I still connected to this person on an emotional level? It's like, I just wish I could cut the cord and not think of this person. And the way that what you can is when you shift and to see a person differently. It's again, you learn the lesson. Laughter, number one. Lies and secrecy, number two. Innocence, three. Rage, four. I'm only going to pull four. So I feel like this child, I mean, when this person was a child, their innocence was robbed, and it was by lies and secrecy. Lies and secrecy, which could be that this person was molested, this person like grew up in poverty, grew up with abuse. Why? Because there's extreme rage. Rage is anger, and that comes from feeling again victimized, betrayed. And what comes from that is shame. And because again, the person feels inadequate. Because of that shame, the laughter was robbed from them. Children are supposed to be able to laugh and be free. All right, I'll pull two more just because I normally do. So they do have a strong connection to source. Yes, they do, because they suffered a lot of psychic trauma. But they self-sabotage themselves all the time. And that's what happens from rage. So understand this. Why did you attract this person into your life? I'm going to pull four, but Spirit says, no, it's always six. It's always six. I'm a creature of habit. It's like it's six. Like, all right, it's six. It's six. Optimism. That's a gift. Joy. That's another gift. Belittled. Unworthy. Protection. Can you see that? Protection. Dance. So you got a lot of gifts to push you into your, again, the child that survives thrives if you've done the work. So the Spirit said you did the work. You did the work. So you don't have to go into this spiritual lesson, this karmic lesson. You don't need to live this karmic lesson. So I allowed the shift to happen again. I broke the karmic connection because you learned how to go with the flow a long time ago. But the wounds that needed to be healed was feeling unworthy and belittled. And this person kind of did that to you. They made you feel small, the same energy, at least as small. They might not have verbally belittled you, but all the games that they played, they made you less than what you really were in hopes that you would perceive that about yourself. Makes it easier. And they did that by making you feel unworthy. Again, I'm not going to give you the time, attention, protection, or anything. No joy from me. No joy. And after a while, you're an optimistic person, but to a fault. And Spirit said, so it actually broke the optimism. Because again, they weren't there for you. They weren't there for you. Now, you might not have needed protection, but protection also is very grounding energy. It shows support. Like this person chose to focus more on the illusion of what they wanted you to perceive than actually build that emotional connection. And that emotional connection is something that you identify with protection when someone's there and they're nurturing you. Again, that's actually when they abandon you, that pushed you again into activating your inner child wounds that needed to be integrated, which we again said was again, feeling belittled and unworthy, and really learning how to go with the flow, right? And finding our own rhythm. That's what dance is. I'm able to again go with the flow and find my rhythm again and find my unique individuality. Dance is what we dance with the universe, right? That's what you're doing actually when you're co-creating. You're co-creating with the universe, but you're dancing. It's within a flow, and it's an intuitive flow. And it's by giving and receiving of love through your free will, and that it feels right, and it's through the heart. See, when we're grounded in our first chakra, we're connected to the earth, we're connected to ourselves, we feel good about ourselves, we know that we're worthy, which this is you, you did the work. And then your second chakra, you're going with the flow and you're creating. And it's again, what's happening is you're being forced to re-enter into past karmic wounds and the universe is watching how you're dealing with those personalities and what they do and how to react. So there is an energy, there is a flow, right? Where you're going with the flow with the universe. And so then we're able to give and receive of love. You see, we're doing it through, again, our free will. My love is not going to be the same as your love, the same as your love, the same as your love. It's again, it's through our unique individuality, and that's our second chakra. It goes back to the second chakra. We're able to give and receive of love. Then we're able to speak our truth only in the now, only in the moment. And then we're able to see opportunities through our third eye and situations and experiences and through claircognizance, which is clear knowing. I can know what to do next. I know what is right and what is wrong. I am given that divine guidance in the now, in the moment. And so it really is a dance. And so you're manifesting. And again, because you know who you are, where this person doesn't know who they are, so they're not on the same vibration, and that doesn't make you feel safe. And that pushes you back again to when you were abandoned in childhood, you're like, it didn't make me feel safe. My parents didn't make me feel safe. Now, it doesn't mean that they didn't love you, but not the love that you needed that actually felt that were supported, where you felt safe. You're like, I don't want that because of what you did. And so that's this person's karma. So we end off with one last card, which is one last message from the universe. And we know that the universe is God because the universe is ubiquitous and God is ubiquitous. And it's just the energy of unconditional love. And that's the energy that's inside of us. That's why they say the universe is inside of you. The stars and the moon is inside of you. It's true. You are that. So we ask one lesson. It's inner beauty. This is the message from the universe for you, Scorpio. I open the eyes of my heart and direct my gaze to the light within every being. Personality and physical appearance are in the image of man. Beauty and goodness are in the image of God. So Spirit said, you are again in the alignment, and it's to continue to stay at this high vibration, which is considered like that inner beauty, which is unconditional love. Love this person as always, because there will always be that connection of oneness. And they taught you a lesson. They taught you you needed that to get to the next level to evolve into a higher state of consciousness. You passed the test. And that's what Spirit says. And when you pass the test, it's like, and you find your inner beauty again, and you're in alignment with the inner beauty. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Don't abandon it for anyone. And then no one can abandon you. Then the tribe and the universe will bring you everything that you need. Everything. The universe will always bring you the right people into your life, not ones that you choose, but ones that are better for you. I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. You let me know how you resonated. I'll talk to you soon.